by Senator Bill Nelson from the state of Florida. When you see those pictures out of Miami, and we're looking at some right now, it really is a warning to people here about what to expect in the coming hours.
Anderson, people are scared, but people are really helping other people. But Miami is getting those outer rain bands. The real strength of this storm is going to be as it comes up the west coast here. And this river that is now down because it's draining out, the wind is coming from east to west. That's going to reverse.
Yeah, when the Hillsborough River goes to Hillsborough Bay and Tampa Bay.
And when the eye of the storm comes up off of the coast and that counterclockwise wind is going to bring that water up Tampa Bay, and up here it doesn't have anywhere to go. You're going to get some flooding here.
Yeah. Storm surge expected anywhere from 5 to 8 feet. But again, with the winds, hurricane force winds, there's going to be waves on top of that water.
And especially if it's at high tide, then we got all the more water.
Yeah. Nobody who has lived in Tampa, or nobody alive in Tampa, has ever seen a storm like this hit Tampa. 1921 was the last time.
It's never been the big one that would bring the water up here. Now, the only consolation is that it's not going to be a Cat 5, 155 miles an hour plus. But it is going to be significant wind that is going to drive that water up here.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff the mayor had said, I believe it was last year, warning about a Cat 3 storm, about the flooding that would take place, even, in heavy rain, not a torrential, not a hurricane. Tampa, areas in St. Petersburg have problems with flooding.
And that's an example, by the way. They're all prepared. They've done a lot of work. Mayor Buckhorn, Hillsborough County, they're working seamlessly with the federal government, the state government, and local government. It is working all over the state. I've been all over the state, and this is the best prepared I've seen. Now, FEMA is stretched because they're in Texas. They held back people from going to Texas so they could bring them into Florida. But FEMA is really going to have to do extra work after the storm.
Well, given the size of the storm, that's been one of the problems for FEMA about wanting, they like to obviously pre-position supplies and resources. But where do you pre-position when the storm is affecting the entire state and you don't exactly know where it's going?
And it has. It's covered up the entire state.
Yeah. The other thing I heard Administrator Brock Long of FEMA say to Renee Marsh yesterday out of Washington is that there could be millions of people without power, possibly for weeks. There's a big elderly population, obviously, in the state of Florida. How concerned are you?
Well, I'm very concerned. Already in South Florida, we have about 750,000 people without power.
750,000.
That's just in South Florida because of all those rain bands and the wind bands that have come in from the Atlantic. As you move that state through the entire peninsula, you're going to have a lot of down trees onto power lines. There are going to be a lot of people, and that's when neighbors helping neighbors is really going to count. Go check on your neighbor. Make sure that they're doing okay.
When the electricity goes out, things can change very quickly for a lot of people. I mean, there are people who need access to medication. There are people who need access to dialysis. We saw that in Harvey. Even just kind of the mundane day-to-day things that people need for their health. When there's no electricity, those are things that have to be taken care of.
I've never seen people as prepared in Florida as I have here. They've got, most people are packing up ice, putting it in coolers to try to get as far as they can without power. But as you say, Anderson, if it's weeks without power, it'll be a real strain.
What are you hearing from the Keys?
Well, I talked to the mayor of Key West. The hurricane was going to the right of him, somewhere between there and Marathon. Marathon is probably getting the worst of the wind. But they are, they're conchs. They're accustomed to hurricanes. By the way, a tremendous evacuation. They only had about 10,000 people left in the whole county. They moved most of their emergency operations up to the northernmost key, Key Largo. So they're as prepared as they can be.
Yeah. Well, Senator Nelson, I really appreciate your time. Thank you. And good luck to you.
Thanks.